Let's move on here because I am absolutely thrilled to bring you my next guest because there have been really crazy, insane revelations about the scandal over the Trump-Russia hoax, which I brought you last week. Now, in the last 24, 48 hours, the Senate, specifically Senator Chuck Grassley, have released classified documents dating back to 2016 showing that, among other things, Hillary Clinton personally signed off on a smear campaign to tar Donald Trump as a Russian agent to distract from her own scandal over her own secret email server. Remember that? For more on this, I am joined by trial lawyer Robert Barnes. Robert, thanks so much for coming on the U.S. Report. The last time I think we spoke, we were probably talking about all the lawfare against Trump, but it seems like the tables have really turned here. Tell us about some more of these revelations in these documents, which were found in so-called burn bags at the FBI. What's the latest?
Essentially, what they have documented is smoking gun evidence, thanks to Tulsi Gabbard's good work as director of national intelligence, that the Clinton campaign coordinated and conspired with the Obama administration, including high-ranking members of both the Federal Bureau of Investigation and at the CIA and in the intelligence apparatus, to obstruct Trump, to lie about Trump, to smear Trump, to spy on Trump, and to effectively try to stage a coup even after the election against President Trump, including false allegations of Russian collusion, false allegations against General Flynn that got him removed from the National Security Agency as National Security Advisor. It is extraordinary, the scope and scale of it. It even implicates George Soros's Open Society Foundation that appeared to have been in on it from the very beginning. So it's one of the it's something that makes Watergate look like an amateur hour by comparison.
Well, and Robert, one of the fascinating things that's come out in the latest set of documents here is this idea that this wasn't just about hobbling Donald Trump's presidency and trying essentially to run a bureaucratic coup against him, but also to, during the campaign, distract from the very real scandal of what Hillary Clinton had on that private email server that was hacked by the Russians.
No doubt about it. Basically, Hillary was sitting on a bevy of scandals including her own emails in which she was using private emails to communicate official business and classified information. So there was that scandal. There was a scandal concerning her public health, her private health, that in fact was deteriorating and had significant issues, that was also recently disclosed as being known to the Russians and others, but not to the American public. And all of that was in, of course, there's the DNC emails, which show that the Democratic National Committee conspired with the Clinton campaign to put her into office without a proper election being conducted, and how they conspired against Senator Sanders' then Democratic nomination bid. So it involved every Clinton scandal she was able to cover up by shifting the blame to Russia and create a fake scandal against then presidential candidate Trump and later President Trump, to try to derail his campaign and his presidency. And it was all subterfuge and cover to illicitly spy on President Trump throughout his campaign and even during the transition. So again, it's something that, take Watergate, put it on steroids, multiply it times 10, and you have a glimpse of what this Russiagate scandal really is.
Well, I've been diving into this stuff for the last 12 hours here. It's just absolutely amazing, this latest set of documents here. And yet, you know, the Washington Post, which broke Watergate, it doesn't seem to be touching it. The New York Times has barely mentioned it. They treat it as a conspiracy. But where does this all go? Because I want to play this for you here. Donald Trump spoke with our good friend here on the program, Miranda Devine, about Hillary Clinton's involvement in all of this. Have a listen.
Felt it was inappropriate. She's the wife of a president. She was a secretary of state. And we could have done a very big number.
Yeah.
And I said, we don't want to be doing that. Let's, and yet they did it to me.
Yeah.
So I feel differently.
So is that suggesting to you that the Trump administration is going to get serious about actually trying to prosecute people, possibly even, a Hillary Clinton or a Barack Obama for some of this stuff?
Well, there's multiple paths they could pursue. They could, for example, go the impeachment route as to President Obama and President Biden, because the Democrats established that precedent when they said you could go after a former president with impeachment when they did it to President Trump in 2021. So that is one particular path they could pursue. There's some that believe an impeachment is a predicate for being able to criminally indict a president, though the Supreme Court expanded the definition of when you can indict a president for his activities in the Trump case. But as to President Trump's point, he was for not engaging the legal system against rogue criminal actors previously because he thought it would endanger American constitutional republic going forward. But once he was subject to it and all of his allies were subject to it, he's like, that ship has now sailed. And now for the country to have confidence in the accountability of government and the transparency of government, there needs to be someone who is held responsible, whether that's James Comey, whether that's Clapper, whether that's Brennan, whether that's Obama, Hillary, George Soros, or others connected to this incredible scandal. There probably has to be some form of criminal prosecution and criminal punishment for the American people to have confidence in our government going forward and to be an essential deterrence to anybody trying to do this again in the future.